walked in the path of the talk that we're here to discuss and to raise awareness for. So I've worked in the fashion industry for 3 decades, and over that time I've led buying teams, consulted globally, mentored designers and built businesses, and I've worked for some of the biggest names across most of Australia and internationally as well. And also some of the glamorous stages in fashion, and from the outside it all looks very exciting and glamorous. But what most people don't see is what goes on behind closed doors and the emotional cost of the glamour that we see from the exterior. In 2016, I had a pretty awful experience, and it was a culmination of all the years of working in the industry and experiencing the bullying, the abuse, the bad behaviour, the stress, the burnout, the anxiety, something that I experienced at that time, and I had never experienced it before. And for anyone who does suffer from anxiety, I feel your pain because it is debilitating. That experience was harrowing, and it pushed me to the brink of suicide. And I feel for anybody who ever gets to that point. And that's why, if it wasn't for my son, I probably wouldn't be standing here giving this message and telling this story, that we have to change the behaviours of the industry. We need to raise awareness, and that's where I decided that I had to be a voice for those who are in the industry that don't feel like they can speak out and be that voice for others. So I founded Mind Your Fashion, and I did it so that I can be here for others, because I've seen so many people leave this industry because of their experiences. And some of those people have left and never come back, and some have left permanently. Now, I'm going to ask a question. Who here has watched The Devil Wears Prada? Yes? Yes, and there's about to be another one coming out. Okay, it's not a documentary, but it should be, because that's what the reality of the industry is like. It's disturbingly accurate, and it glamorises stress and devalues boundaries. It's glossy, but it's also a warning and a reality check. And I have had, in my experience and working for some organisations, I have been told I should eat, sleep, breathe this job 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That is not realistic, and that is not something that we should be encouraging anybody to do. So I want to speak about all of these things and tell you about the industry. This industry is worth $2.4 trillion globally. So think about that. People sort of go, fashion, it's just fashion. It's actually a $2.4 trillion industry that employs over 300 million people, and 77% of those are female. Australia alone employs 500,000 workers, and it's a $27 billion industry. And studies have shown that people who work in the fashion industry are 25% more likely to experience mental health challenges than any other industry. So we've seen what happens to people who have made the ultimate sacrifice or paid the ultimate price. We have lost Alexander Lee McQueen, we have lost Lorraine Scott, we have lost Kate Spade, and we've seen a very public breakdown of John Galliano. And they're just the people that we know the names of. What about all the others that we lose to this industry that we don't know the names of? We simply can't afford to keep losing anyone to this industry. They're not isolated incidents. We're all about pushing perfectionism. We're working with creatives, and creatives wear their hearts on their sleeves, and they're torn down and destroyed without a consideration in the world as to what impact that might be having on them. So as we push for sustainability and ethical sourcing, which is what we all want to do and we should be doing to look after our planet, what about the people that are making that happen? What about the sustainability of those who work in the industry? We need to sustain them as much as we sustain our planet. We're here to provide support for all those who work in the industry, for the models who can't afford to eat, for the designers who are too afraid to admit they're struggling, for the buyers who are stressed beyond belief, and the garment workers who work offshore, who are working purely just for survival. So let's talk about diversity and inclusion in our campaigns, but we need to do it for all of those who work in this industry. We are a registered charity and we're here to provide support. We deliver workshops in schools, we do talks at university, and we foster resilience before burnout begins. We're a global advocacy that brings mental health to the front of fashion. And we provide showcasing opportunities for designers, stylists, and models to present their collections on a global stage. Because why shouldn't they have that opportunity? Why should they have to miss out because of price or not knowing where to go or the contacts or anything else? So we provide that resource for them. So, I'm here to say to you that we need to build an industry where we don't have to sacrifice our mental health in order to succeed. We need to create a space to say that it's okay if you're not doing well that day. We need to mentor the next generation with kindness, not criticism. We need to challenge the toxic behaviours that we've inherited and stop glamorising burnout. We need to be brave and speak up. And that's the problem. We're too scared because we know that there's 100 people waiting to take our job, more than that, if you're a model. So let's turn the fashion industry into one that values humanness over creativity. And if you're someone here who's struggling, please hear me. You are not alone. You're not weak. And you're absolutely worthy of support. You need to reach out to somebody, a friend, a family member, a therapist, a colleague, me, anyone. You don't have to feel like you're alone and you're isolated. Your life matters more than any job on this planet, more than any deadline, or more than any Instagram follower. This is the work I wake up to do every day. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. And we have to change the behaviours of this industry. So we're here to hold a space for those who can't speak, to provide connection, advocacy and hope. Let's bring empathy and integrity back to fashion. Let's hold ourselves and each other accountable, and let's build a future where the industry celebrates beauty, but also protects the well-being of those who have created it. Because beautiful things should never come at the cost of somebody's life. Remember, regardless of everything, we all wear clothes. Apart from about 5 million people on the planet that are nudists. But everybody else wears clothes. So you have a responsibility to protect those people who work in the industry and make those clothes for you. Let's take care of everybody that works in this field. I thank you for listening. I thank Sarah and my charity Raffle so much from the bottom of my heart for this event and for your unwavering support. And I wish you every good luck for the raffle. Buy up tickets and enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you again.